Yes, and welcome. This is Kimberly Swanson. This is going to be the continuation to the anger management class that we're having. Let me take you to the page where we're going to continue. I found this wonderful article on how to control your anger. They have some wonderful tips and advice on how to go about it. This is going to be part number 1. And the title of this article is called How Can I Control My Anger? And it was written by Kristen Vorquist and it was reviewed by Timothy J. Legg, and he has a PhD. So let's continue down. I believe he has a degree, he's a nurse practitioner. And this article was published in 2016, so it's fairly recent. And it says here, anger is a natural emotion. Mild forms of anger include displeasure, irritation, or dislike. Anger can come as a reaction to criticism, threat, or frustration. This is usually a healthy response. Anger may be a secondary response to feeling sad, lonely, or frightened. When anger turns into rage, it can impair judgment and thinking, making people more likely to do and say unreasonable and irrational things. So these are the things you got to consider when you think about the emotion when it comes to anger. A lot of times when you're in rage, you don't think very clearly, and a lot of times your reasoning or way of thought is distorted. That's why it's great to step aside and take a moment to breathe, to clear your head so you can make a better decision to a situation. Instead of reacting, you can think about it before you do. It says here, and right here they give another detailed definition of what anger is. I believe this is for more of a health aspect. The other slide that I've done focus more on the mental aspect of anger. And in this particular article, which is published in Medical News Today, it focuses on the health aspect. It says here, what is anger? Anger is a normal human emotion, but when it gets out of control, it can become destructive, leading to serious problems at work and personal relationships. It is undermined a person's quality of life. Anger is not just a state of mind. It triggers an increase in heart rate, blood pressure, and adrenaline levels. Anger has survival benefits, and it forms part of the fight or flight response to a perceived threat or harm. Then it strolls down. Let's scroll down here. It says humans and other animals often express anger. It makes making loud noise, baring teeth, staring, adopting posture in a warning, or perceived aggressors in an attempt to stop their threatening behavior. It is rare for physical attacks to occur without these signs of anger appearing first. Exactly, there's physical warning signs for when a person has anger. A lot of times these angers are shown prior to an outburst or to taking action. Now let's drill down. It says the causes. It says anger may happen instinctively in humans and other animals to protect territory, offspring, family members, secure mating privileges, prevent loss of possession or food, and other perceived threats. So it's a natural occurrence, but when you are in living in society, when you have to work and deal with other people, a lot of times you have to be able to modify these instinctual behavior of protection in order to be able to blend in with the society and work well along with others. And then it says here factors that commonly make people angry, and they are grief or losing a loved one, sexual frustration, disappointment or failure, rudeness, injustice, tiredness, hunger, pain, use of withdrawal from alcohol, medicine, or other substance abuse. We talked about substance abuse in another video. And it says here physical conditions such as premenstrual syndrome, physical and mental illness, being teased, bullied, humiliated, embarrassment, stress, for example, deadlines or financial problems, traffic jams, sloppy service, infidelity, burglary, being told you have a serious illness. See, these are the list goes on and on. There can be any type of factors. It can be environmental, it can be actual physical, dealing with your health. It can it could be other people who you have around, who's around in your environment. Different circumstances can cause people to have to become enraged, and that's why we say it's best to identify your triggers, and that's why I gave you all a journal in the previous class, and in that journal, I believe it's the weekly journal. You sit down and monitor your behaviors, and if you're not sure what triggers you, a lot of times we don't know what triggers you. Sometimes it's good to just sit down and write down your triggers. Like one way to capture your trigger is to, whenever you feel angry or upset about something, you hurry it up and write it down on your worksheet. During that time of when you were upset, these are the things you think about. You think about what upset me, what caused me to be upset. Was it my environment? Who was I around during that time? What was I doing? And what time of the day? Just think, write those things down so you can have a better idea as to what is causing you to be upset and what triggers, because certain situations can definitely cause a person to have an outburst. And that's why it's good to identify what it is so you can reduce the occurrence or come up with other alternatives to make it come to an end, or to alleviate it, or to at least reduce it. It says here this information came from the Counseling Center. It says here the Counseling Center of California State University in Bakersfield, California, explains that underlying anger is caused by a perceived loss of control over factors affecting important values. The values may be related to pride, love, money, justice, and so on. And and a lot of times, life things, cannot go exactly as you plan, and that's why it's good to have incorporate some sort of mechanism to be able to cope. Some people use spirituality as a way to cope, and though some people may use meditation as a way of coping. Some people may like to do some sort of exercise such as stress, to help alleviate these feelings. Going outside and being one with nature. With us, a lot of more and more people living in cities and living more and more hectic lives. A lot of times we don't have the opportunity to have some me time, that time to have some space to clear your head. So these are some of the things that people can do. Just throwing a few ideas there to think about on how you can cope with being angry. And this article goes on to explain health risks. With anger, anger brings on a lot of issues and with your health. That's why it's very important to take care of yourself. And when you're in an uptight beat, or making your heart beat fast and being upset about things all the time, it can affect different parts of your body, and could cause even more issues such as health issues. That's why it's important to stay calm and learn how to do things, adjust your life in a way where it can be more healthy, and it may means alleviating certain situations, being around, not reducing the amount of time being around toxic people. It could be maybe changing your own mindset, breaking away from certain habits such as addiction. These are some of the things you may have to consider a change in your lifestyle and how you live your life and perceive life as a whole. But it says here health risks. That's why I want you this article, because it talks more about some of the health risks that is associated with anger management, with anger, as a whole. It says here, when a person is angry, the body releases stress hormones such as adrenaline and noradrenaline and cortisol. I'm sorry. The heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, and breathing rate increases. And it says here, regular anger can eventually make people ill because recurrent, unmanaged anger can result in a constant flood of stress chemicals. This can lead to metabolic changes that eventually undermine the individual's health. So these are some of the health problems that occur when you are angry, and that we must oftentimes consider watching and taking care of our, of this issue in order to alleviate these physical ailments that can possibly occur due to being angry and upset about things. It says here, the following physical problems may occur: backache, headache, hypertension, high blood pressure. A lot of people have the high blood pressure and hypertension, don't even realize it. A lot of times people say that high blood pressure is the silent killer, and that's why it's important to try to remain calm and not let everything stress you within your life, no matter how difficult things may be and may proceed to be. That's why it's important to try to find different mechanisms to calm yourself and make it better on you as a whole. It says here, insomnia, irritable bowel syndrome or other digestive disorder, skin disorder, stroke. Stroke is linked to high blood pressure. So that's why it's very important to watch your blood pressure and remain calm. Another issue is heart attack. A lot of times people who are stressed with their lives, it can bring on a heart attack. So that's another health issue that can occur with when you don't take care of yourself when it comes to anger. And it says lower pain stress threshold, weakened immune system results in more infections, cold, and insomnia. Emotional and mental consequences of frequent uncontrolled anger includes, and this is the mental aspect. We touched on it earlier, but some more different mental issues that may occur. First one is depression and moodiness. A lot of people get that a lot. I see that a lot in my practice. People who suffer from depression, and depression can come from many factors. It could be health related. It could also be environmental related, and that's why it's important to identify and know how to manage it. And the best one, and oftentimes they say, when you're upset and angry about something, that brings on the depression. That's why it's important to try to see what you can do to resolve these matter. It says eating disorder. Some people might overeat when they're upset about something, and some people may have the other, go from another extreme to this, to not eating at all, which is anorexia. Some people don't, or it could lead to anorexia, or some people just don't, feel like eating and they lose weight, and some people overeat and become an overeater. So it's like never a balance in how to eat. It's either from one extreme to the other. And then the other one is alcohol and drug addiction. Some people turn to drugs and alcohol when they're stressed and feel overwhelmed and feel like the whole world is against them. That's another issue that some people may find that they go through when they're upset and angry. Another thing is some people might have suffer from self-injury and self-harm. And the last issue is self-esteem, low self-esteem, not believing in themselves, having a low self-image, low perceived image of themselves. And yeah, but these are some of the factors that occur when you have anger. And wouldn't it be great to just relieve your anger? Anger help reduces the risk of these other physical and mental elements from coming into your life or becoming a more of a problem in your life. That's why it would be advantageous to look into what you can do to bring more positive flow of energy and positive things to occur in your life through how you see the world and how you react in it and how you feel, from within and also from outside. Like I said, a lot of times you have to look from within. Is it you that may have the issue of how you see things? And then what can you do for yourself to bring about that change? And then once you bring about that change, then everything from the outside starts to shift and change. But the choice is pretty much up to you, whether or not you are willing to make a difference and see that you do have a choice, either to reduce your anger and tension in your life, or to continue down the road and the path that you're still following, to this very day. Are you gonna, you're at a crossroad, whether you're gonna go the right way or whether you're gonna go wrong, or you're gonna continue the same rocky road that you continue to have to this very day, or you're gonna choose the best route and a better route in order to have a more peaceful outcome in the end. But this is going to be the conclusion of the part one of this video, this particular article that we're discussing. We got a little bit ways to go. We're going to do the other half in the other part in the second video on this particular article in medical news today, and about how I can control my anger. But this is going to be the conclusion, and please go to the next part two to this video. Until next time, peace and bye-bye.